Hey everyone, in my next video I'm going to show you how to make some really cool spray paint art. What I forgot to say in the very beginning of this video is that please make sure you have adult supervision and that you are using spray paint outside. If you were to use spray paint inside, even inside a garage, it might hurt your lungs. So please make sure you have permission, you have supervision, and you're also doing it in a safe place. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoy this video. Please show me whatever you make. I can't wait to see it. Hey guys, welcome to Art with Kat. What I'm going to go ahead and do today is I'm going to show you how to make some beautiful art using some common household items. So today what I'm using are just some leftover spray paint bottles that I have. I think I painted a lamp with this. It's not enough to do an entire other piece of furniture with, so this would be a great time to use it for some art. I'm going to be using any type of paper that I have on hand. A lot of times as an art teacher, companies will send me free sketchbooks and water paper pads. So the heavier the paper today, the better it's going to be. Whoopsies. The heavier the paper today, the better the piece is going to kind of turn out, just because we are using spray paint on paper. But whatever you have is going to be great. We also need a pair of scissors. And you need some glue or some tape. I'm embarrassed. I do not even have a single drop of glue at my home right now. So I'm actually forced to use tape, and then later, at a later date, I will go back and I will find some glue, and I'll be able to reattach my pieces with glue instead of tape. But for today, I'm just going to use tape. And then any type of paper that you have on hand. Here's some colorful paper. You could also use magazines. What you want to do is you're just cutting out little pieces of solid colors if you can find, or the most solid colors that you can find. Alright, so now I'm going to show you what we're actually making. So we are making art in the style of a very famous artist. His name is Matisse. So I just made this piece. I think it's super beautiful. I painted the background with some spray paint, and then I actually used some paper cutouts in order to add some extra shapes in the style of Henri Matisse. So who was Henri Matisse? He was a French artist born in 1869, and in the last decade of his life, he used a special technique called paper cutouts. So I'm going to get into the paper cutout part later on in this video. First things first, I'm going to prepare my background. So I'm just going to start by adding some colors to my art. So what you can see is I have all different colors. Kind of think about the color palette that you want to use. So you could use, so the color palette is just the colors that you choose to use. So maybe your color palette is only going to be cool colors. So maybe you just want to use these greens and blues. And so you would not want to use the pink if you're doing a cool color palette. Or maybe you want a varied color palette. Maybe you want to use all the colors. And as an artist, you get to make those decisions. So I'm just going to kind of play around with all the colors that I have right here, and we'll see what happens. So the first things first, make sure you have followed the directions of the spray paint and that you've shaken it the correct amount of time. These are, I've already prepared for us, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. So when you're using spray paint, it's always a good idea to wear gloves. If you don't have gloves, I've definitely spray painted without gloves before, and the paint will come off your hands. It'll just take a few days of scrubbing. But today I do have gloves, so I'm going to go ahead and put these on. Alright, so I'm going to start by just spraying a line. So here's kind of like a varied line, and you can see that the closer my nozzle is to my piece of paper, the more compact, the more tight that line is. But then the farther away, the less compact it is. It looks almost kind of like a mist. So make sure you're thinking about that. Maybe you want to add just some dots to your piece. You could do that. That would be fun. So here we go. I have some of that. And then maybe I want to add some more zigzag lines. I'm just trying to kind of make a variation of shapes and lines. Ooh, this one's very empty. So here's my gray. It's on its last leg. Make sure whatever you're spray painting on too, you're okay with getting some spray paint on it. This is my metal table. It lives outside, so I'm okay if I get a little bit of paint on it, but I tend to like to spray paint on the ground, maybe on the grass, but today I want you to be able to see it, so that's why I'm spray painting on top of the table. Alright, here's some black. I really like the contrast of the black against the other colors because it's so much darker. And I'm not covering it completely. I want to leave space for other colors. And now, because I am an artist and I get to make the decisions, I'm going to use some pink. So here's my pink. And I'm just going to do some pops of pink. And I don't want to cover up all those cool marks that I've already made, so I'm just getting really, I'm being really, I don't know how to say it. I'm being very conservative with the amount of pink that I'm putting on there. So I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to do too much, because remember we're going to go back and add some different colors to the piece later. So I'm going to let this dry, and then once this is dry, I'm going to get back on, and I'm going to show you how to finish your piece. Hey guys, I'm back. So I've gone ahead and grabbed a magazine. This is just a medical journal that I always get in the mail. So what you want to do when you're looking for pieces of paper to cut out, you might already have plain colored pieces of paper from home, but if you don't, what you could do is you could find a piece of paper, maybe like an ad that is like this, and you could cut out a really cool shape. Now, the sizes of my shapes are kind of restricted by the sizes of my pieces of paper in that color block. So there are no words on this, so that's kind of what you're looking for. Pieces of paper of solid colors that do not have any words. So some of my pieces of papers that I've already prepared for you, they do have like some pattern. I think some pattern's okay. Like this came from a magazine with a girl who, or this came from a dress that a girl had on, so I was using that. This came from like a museum magazine. It has this in the background, but I just really liked this this kind of pattern, so I went ahead and I decided to use that. So I have different shapes already cut out, so make sure you're just kind of looking through. I even used like a cereal box. I mean, this was a cracker box that I cut up because it had this like nice pretty purple in the background. So remember that the sizes, the bigger is always a little bit better for this. But it's kind of whatever you have on hand, right? So now what I'm going to do is I've let this dry for a little bit. It's not completely dry, but it's pretty dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to place my paper cutouts. So Henry Matisse, when he would do this, he would use sewing pins in order to pin them in place. Now, the wind is kind of blowing right now, so fingers crossed that my shapes do not blow everywhere. But guys, what I'm doing is I'm just placing down some of my pre-cut pieces of paper, and I'm just kind of looking at how the colors react with each other. You know, if I have like a really, so this darker piece kind of reminds me of this black, so maybe I want to put it where I didn't spray paint a lot of black. So maybe I want to put it right here. I really like how this green kind of pulls out that green, so maybe I'll put it around here where there's no other green. And then this blue kind of matches with this blue. And then maybe I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think those are too many shapes. So maybe I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of these blues, because I'm like, it doesn't really go with mine that well. Or maybe you want to keep one, take away one, add something. You're the artist, you make these types of decisions, right? So after Henry Matisse would lay them out, he would actually take a pencil or a pen and he would trace his shapes if he needed to move this piece of paper. Because if I pick up this piece of paper, all these shapes are going to fall off. And then I might not remember where I placed them. So I don't need to move it right now, so I'm actually able to I'm ready to go ahead and attach these. So like I said, I do not have any glue where I live right now. And because I'm trying to stay safe and stay home, I am not going to go out and get any glue. So I'm simply using what I have on hand. But the best thing to use to attach these would 100% be some glue. So you could use school glue. I actually do think I have some super glue. I would not suggest using super glue. That would be a little bit much. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish attaching these. And once I'm finished attaching these, you can see my crazy awesome art. Now I could go back and I could add some markers, colored pencils, crayons on top. I could go back and trace the shapes. I just think this is like super cool, super awesome mixed media art piece. You could hang it up on your wall. You could put it in a frame. I just think these are so beautiful. And some awesome art that you can make from home. Oops, my pink one was not attached. Like I said, I'm going to go back when I am able to leave the house again, and I'm going to get some glue, and I'm going to peel off the tape, pick these up, and then replace them where they went. So that is all we have. That is the art that we have made together today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I think this is so beautiful. I can't wait to show all of my friends. All right, I hope everyone's having a great day.